Hey guys, Brent Abernathy. Welcome to Family First Life Gulf Coast team training call on Monday afternoon. Hope everybody's having an awesome day so far. And as normal, already booking up a bunch of appointments for your week. So got a special guest with us today, Evelyn Jones, who lives up in Minnesota. And Evelyn's been with us for a while, and Evelyn, fair to say, like, and the main reason I do want to get you to do some sales training on this call, I think that's important. But I also know how important mindset and as an agent or a manager, being able to control your mind is, and because you are going to have ups and downs in your business, no matter what stage you're at. And the your ability to control those and keep it more here instead of riding those highs and lows is ultimately what gives you better results. And I think it would be fair to say that over the time that you've been with us, right, you have had plenty of ups and downs, right?
Massive.
And
it's been such a ride.
But I'm proud of you right now, and that's why I want you to talk about, because I can see you now learning how much of control you are of your mind, and you're not riding those highs and lows. You've helped over 50, 60 families in a month before, but you've also had months where you've only helped 6 to 10 families, and that's because of some of the junk that we let get in. So talk a little bit about that, kind of what made you do some changes, what changes you've made recently, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay.
For sure. Definitely appreciate you having me on. It's definitely love being part of the team and just being a part of everyone else's journey. It's it's just so cool being able to be in like an environment where like everyone is like just like so jazzed about like everyone else's success. Like you don't get that anywhere else. Like this is like nowhere. It's just awesome. So I mean, mindset. I don't even know where to begin. So like I guess
well, take everybody back. Let's start with this. Take everybody back about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, whatever, kind of.
Okay.
Where your mind was at that point. You were having one of those low periods, and kind of what was going on, and then kind of how you've gotten to where you are now.
Right. So I mean, I think it kind of started as like a snowball effect of like certain small things that I started doing mindset wise that I didn't really concern myself with. I didn't think was a big deal. And so, instead of like helping 40, 50 or 60 families a month, I started doing like 40 or 30, and I let that be something that just like it was like a dagger through my heart, and I like took it so personally. I was just like, man, I like failed myself. I failed everybody. I failed the world. And like it was just like I made it this huge thing, and it was just so ridiculous. And I just like kept doing that. Each time I got even worse. And and of course when you're doing that, all you're gonna think about is how you're failing. So if all you're gonna think about how you're failing, that's all you're gonna continue to do.
Right.
So that's why I went from 40 to 30 to 20 to 10 to 6. A month. And it's so funny. I think the biggest thing that got me started to get out of that was just like to reach out to people to like figure out like, hey, like I am not doing something right, like, and like being able to not just like shut in, which I don't think I've ever really done that. I mean, to a degree where it was like to a fault,
right.
Like I've done, but like it got to the point where I was like, oh, okay, I really need to like call somebody. And I was like, this is a problem. I just started, reaching out to people, and then, having those conversations of like what I was doing, and, figuring out strengths and weaknesses, and I think the cool thing is like when we were talking about weaknesses, we really just kind of dive into like, okay, well, why is that an issue? Like, oh, like you don't feel comfortable with mortgage protection. That's weird. You ran a lot of mortgage. Like, there's got to be like one thing you're doing wrong. Oh, you're just being awkward at home. Stop being awkward. you know, the only thing I changed with mortgage was I just started asking like, okay, so the most important thing with mortgage protection, we need to figure out who's most financially impacted in the events of one of you guys passing away. Who might that be? Super
Right.
straightforward. That's the energy for the whole appointment. Like, haven't had a no sale with that yet. Like, and it's, and I think another really big thing that you've talked about, I think for like agents, just starting to like make your cold market your warm market. It's the same thing with like clients. Like, we need to like be getting to know these people. Like, it can't, like, I think transactional is good, but I think if we can balance it with like actually getting to know them too, it just blows the lid off. Cause like I haven't had a no sale in like a while, like it's nuts.
Yeah. And you know what else you'll see too? I mean, look, I got it. Like, we're there to do business. We're not there to be their friends. Okay. That
100%.
obviously, because
Of
that'll
course.
translate into no sales as well. But we got to get to know them. We got to let them know that we care about them.
Yep.
So we have to focus on that some. But what you're going to see too, not only are you making more sales, but you'll see that more of those stick on the books as well, as opposed to just going in and selling based on price or whatever. So how are you getting to know them better? Like let's talk a little bit about that. How you were doing it, and then how you are now. When you were
Yeah.
being transactional, and what sort of questions are you asking them now? Like how much are you getting to know them? What are you getting to know about things like that?
Yeah. I think a big one is gonna be do you have I just wrote a like an older couple, and I was just like asking them like, okay, so like where's your like where'd you grow up? Okay, like is your family still here? Like, okay, so you have a sister, like do you talk to her very often? Like, are you guys pretty close? It sounds like she might be your beneficiary, right? Um, okay, so you don't have any kids. Oh, this is a really great dog that you have. Like, and they, like most folks that don't have kids, they love their dogs, and vice versa if they have kids. um,
Hey, I got kids. I got kids too, and sometimes I'll say it. I'm on recording right now. I know I am, but sometimes, and I've got a dog too, and sometimes I would like my dog more than I like my kids. You know what I mean? Oh, so anyway, we digress. But
That's awesome.
so getting to know them, and not being so transactional, basically, just knowing their situation, painting those pictures, things like that. I mean, is there anything that got you, like, can you look back? What got you out of that to begin with? Like, just where your head was and how you were just like kind of spiraling, or was there anything particular that got you out of doing that to begin with?
I haven't stopped the amount of work I've put in.
Right.
Like,
Absolutely. I know you haven't.
yeah. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I'm always been obsessed with like efficiency and effectiveness. And the only like the easiest way to do that is like consistency. So like I haven't skipped a dial day since I started. I haven't not ran 30 appointments since I started, like things like that. It's because like when you're going through the hard times and you're doing all of that, then we have something we can look at and being like, okay, what's going wrong? Because if I would have stopped working because I was doing bad, I wouldn't have had anything to look at as to what I was doing wrong. I would have just been like in a puddle, like nothing to look at.
Yeah, I mean, there's no. It's the law of large numbers. It's being able to take it's like if somebody goes and runs 4 appointments and says, "Hey, I need in-home training." It's like, no, you don't.
Right.
You need
Exactly.
getting leads and phone script training, right? Because if you have 30 appointments a week, then yeah. And if you're sitting with 20 out of the 30, then yeah, maybe we do need some in-home help or whatever. But the consistency of work has never left you. That's always been there. It's just now I can just see it. I can hear it in your voice. I can see it. It's on social media, all that sort of stuff. You flipped a switch from a mindset standpoint. You flipped a switch. And I loved what you said. You said earlier you found yourself focusing on the failures that you were having. And it's almost like beating yourself up, right? It's and it happens so much, Evelyn. That's why I want you to kind of dig into this, because so many agents, we've all been through it. Heck, I've been in the business for 12 years, and I, I look back over, those 12 years, and I'm like, I can pick out points where I was talking to the wrong people and I was just letting negativity seep into my brain, and I wasn't realizing it, but it was happening. Or I was going through struggles. I wasn't talking to enough people, right? And then it started snowballing, and now one bad week led into 2 weeks, and so forth. And and I can look back on changes I've made and people I was talking to and things I've implemented in my business, and it had a positive impact right away. And that's what I'm seeing, with you. And so what else you got as far as I know the work hadn't gone away, hadn't changed. You made some changes, getting to know the client more. What kind of other stuff? I don't know, whether it's mindset, whether it's sales stuff, because what you've
Yeah.
gone through, that ups and downs, is something that everybody deals with, and we can't run from them. We got to take them head on, and we got to move through them.
Well,
It's that simple.
I think I guess like a first start, like if you're like when I was like completely bashing myself, like, oh my gosh, I only have 30 families this month. Like, why am I doing this? I instead of focusing on how awful that was, and that's awful to me because I just have really high goals. Like if
Right.
you're doing 30, that's really great, by the way. But instead of like focusing on like, oh, I didn't meet my goals, like, wait, why am I being so hard on myself? Like, that's weird. Like, what?
Mhm.
And then just like dig into that. So, like, okay, well, why is this happening? Oh, it's because I set really high goals. Okay, then why am I not like, how could I be less hard on myself and still be able to like learn and grow and move forward? You know?
Mhm.
And I think I've always been hungry for like different mind shifts because I really think like the power of like a mind shift can honestly just completely change the world. And um I've been watching silly videos like that of like mindset or like mind shift, like motivational videos, like
Mhm.
every single morning, probably since like all throughout all my degrees, you know.
Mhm.
And I always notice when I stopped doing that, um, things would either plateau or decline. So,
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? And I tell people all the time, I'm like, please, when everything's going great for you, like write down in a journal or something, hey, this is what I'm doing every single day, right?
yeah,
That way, 6 months from now, 8 months from now, a year from now, when it's like, what was I doing when things were going good? Now we go back to that book and it's like, hey, this is what it's like. You knew things were going good, but yet somehow or another you got away from doing that every single day, right? We fell
yep,
out of the habit, you know.
yep,
and and I think it's important too. I'd made a couple of notes as you were talking. I think it's important that you don't compare yourself to other people, right? Like you have big goals, lofty goals. You're very driven, and which is great, right? But I think sometimes too many people compare themselves to other people on the leaderboards, around the country, this, that, and the other. It's like, which that's good. Yes, you have people you're trying to chase down or do whatever. I got all that. But it's like,
yep,
let's make the focus about us, right, as
yep,
an individual, and
Yeah.
being as good as we can be every single day. Not,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm not as good as, or I'm not as high as this person on the leaderboard or whatever, right? It's like when we do that, that's when we start growing every single day. Makes sense?
I totally agree. I think like David Anderson at convention, I really liked the way he said it. Like it's not about comparing yourself to others, it's about figuring out what your personal edge is and what you're capable of, you know, and then like almost getting to the point where it's almost a little bit too much, and then you back off and then you find your flow. And
Mhm,
then you're in that for like a month, and then you find a new edge, you know, and you
mhm.
just keep going with that. Like
Right.
it's always gonna be a you versus you. Like I know it's, you know, everyone says that, and but it's a lot easier said than done. And I think like thinking of it as like say you're running like 15 appointments a week. Okay, well I'm gonna start running 20 every week, you know, and you know, just having like micro goals and not seeing someone that's running 40 appointments a week or something, like, and comparing that, like that's not
Mhm.
apples and oranges. Like I don't know, that's apples and trees. I don't, or whatever, I don't know.
Hey,
But
it's funny too because you're talking about having shorter term goals, right?
yeah.
And I think that's big as far as keeping our mind right, because if we set these big lofty goals, which is good, we have to have these stretch goals. But if you're constantly setting stretch goals or monthly goals or whatever, and if you're falling short of them, you're going to be telling yourself, oh my God, this is bad, this is negative, whatever. And whereas if you're doing shorter, daily goals or something like that, that will ultimately get you to that monthly goal, well, now
Right.
your mind is telling you, oh, I accomplished this today, I'm in a happy place. Oh, I accomplished this tomorrow, I'm in a happy place. And now you're living here instead of living in that failure zone. And it does wonders for your mind, giving yourself those little checklists every single day of what I got to do to get better. And then you'll look up after the month or whatever, and you will more often than not reach your goals. Does that make sense?
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I think even just acknowledging that you did a good job. Like that's something I've like literally I don't think I've done for many years. Like I've always just been so hard on myself, like I don't deserve to be told that I've done a good job. Like seriously, like even when I was like I was doing like, you know, I was like playing professionally in orchestras and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I've never posted me playing till a week ago.
Right. Mhm. Be
Because I
proud
didn't
of,
think it was ever good enough. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
be proud
I'm
of who
sure for a
you
lot of
are.
people,
Mhm.
yeah, right. Like I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, it's just like her playing. But like for me, it was more like, no, like I can post about this, you know?
Right.
And I think it's the same thing for like anything else. So it's like if we're doing a good job, like take time and energy to like acknowledge that. Like, 'cause that's big too. Because, you know, because then if you don't, you're just gonna snowball like I did. And
Yeah.
just
Well, it's funny because I've got an agent who's fairly new down here in the Fort Walton Beach office, and here recently they were beating themselves up a little bit, right? And they had helped, I think it was either 7 or 8 families in their first month of being with us,
That's
and they were
awesome.
beating themselves up, right? It's like not good enough, and oh man, I've got a
Mm,
long way to go, that type of deal. Okay, which I
yeah,
can appreciate because you always want to get better. But
for
I
sure.
looked at I looked at him and I was like, bro, my first month in this business, I helped 4 families. In my second month, I helped 5 families. In my third month, I helped 8 families. And then after that, it was 12. And then boom, I mean, I was good to go. I was like, but
For sure.
calm down. I mean, you're doing great. You're doing twice as good as I did my first month, you
Yep.
know? And and I think sometimes, Evelyn, that's like we have raised the bar with what we do in the life insurance space. I mean, there's nobody else even close. We've raised the bar, and And I think it's always good to be pushing to do more. I talk about that a lot of times, right? But I love what you're talking about right now. Like, you also have to learn to appreciate what you do and who you are, and on a day-to-day basis, and the service you provide for these families. And that doesn't mean stop and slow down and all that sort of stuff. It means love who you are, and have fun with who you are, and love what you do and be proud of what you do, as long as you are putting the work in. That's the caveat, because if you're not putting the work in, well, then I can see where you wouldn't really love yourself. You know what I mean? I can, because you'd be frustrated,
Totally.
but
Totally.
that it's all making sense to me now after listening to you talk. Kind of, um, it's huge stuff. I do want you, anything else on a sales perspective, whether it's something on the phone or in the home, or leads, how to approach certain, whatever. I mean, we've hammered mindset, but
Yeah.
anything on a sales perspective?
Yeah. Uh, I'm not a huge one to like watch TV or anything like that, but um, I have been like in my downtime, like just been watching a ton of like different comics,
Okay.
and like it's really interesting in how like people like respond to different things like that, and so what I've been doing in home, like if I can kind of feel like if the energy is like kind of like tense, I just make them laugh, like whatever, and I'm right back on track. So, it doesn't like, because before, like, I always like you could cut the tension with a knife before,
Yep.
like
Yep.
easily could have cut the tension with a knife. Now it's just like the most like easy, effortless, playful, um, energy possible, and it makes it so much more fun. It makes it easier, like all the things. So like so I just kind of started to like watch different comics and how they broke that energy, but like not necessarily like actual jokes,
Right.
but like kind of like understanding what that tension feels like and how easy it is to get back out of that tension. If that makes
All right.
sense.
Yeah, no, I got you. And what you're talking about now is huge. So I want to dig on it a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's say me and you, let's say you're coming to my house to help me with some life insurance, and you get a sense that, that tension's there, that it's not the
Right.
right mood, whatever. You're basically, what you're saying is you would just some way or another just crack some sort of joke, or like, give me an example of maybe an appointment that happened and what you said to them, or how you got them to start laughing.
Yeah. If they have a dog, I'm definitely saying like, oh my God, I'm definitely gonna have to like come back and dog sit because this dog is amazing, or like something like that.
Hmm.
Like, compliment their dog, or um let's see. Um, you know, it's all so circumstantial, but like um that's the only one I can think of right
But you're
now.
not
But
taking it. Oh, I guess you're not taking things so seriously. You are, but you're not. It's not like, I think sometimes, and I used to do this. I used to be real bad about this. I used to be so stiff, and so like, oh my God, I got to be this
yeah,
insurance professional or
right,
whatever. And
right,
and and listen, here's the deal. And that's honestly, that's more my personality, right? Your personality, like, you're fun loving, you're goofy, you're outgoing, that's who you are, right? So if
hmm,
you're not being that way,
right.
it, it's weird,
It's very
but
weird.
but but I think sometimes, and it's a fine line, because obviously what we do is a very serious thing, and
Yep,
it's a huge service to these families. But I think sometimes a lot of people do take themselves too seriously, and
for
it's
sure.
like smiling, right? I mean,
Hmm.
learn to smile, learn to laugh. And I'm not even just talking
Yes.
about inside the home, right? I'm talking about just in life in general. It,
Yep.
I mean,
Just do it.
it is crazy, but that is a huge thing inside the home. Is if you get them laughing with you, if you know goof off with them, have some fun, whatever. I know you've taken pictures here recently and crazy looking coats, and I mean, all kinds of stuff. I mean, just how did that come about? I got to ask you about that before we wrap up. So if anybody didn't see it on the channel, Evelyn made a
Yeah.
sale. Evelyn made a sale of some guy that makes eccentric coats and stuff. How did that come about,
But
and you actually having one on?
he was awesome. I mean, at first he was like, "Oh no, I don't need this." But I was just like, yeah, we could just see what you qualify for. And then he's like, yeah, I guess it'd be good just to make sure it's an ease of mind. I was like, yeah, absolutely. And then go ahead and write the app. Actually, no. So at the beginning, it was hilarious. So he had like a whole entire bar filled of like liquor, but like it wasn't like for himself. Like he enjoyed like having people over and like making them things. So, like he gave me pastries, like tried to make me like a martini, and I was like, literally need to drive. I'll like I'll take the pastries, I guess. So I mean, this guy was just awesome already. Just like really, really
Right.
cool guy. So yeah, go write the application. And then he's like, hang on, I gotta quick show you something. And then he just like walks out of the room and he comes back with this snake skinned cuffed that has like leather sleeves, like jacket. And I'm just like, who are you? Like it was like really nice material, like very finely made. And I was like, what brand is this? And he's like, I made this. I was like, you're kidding? Like it's beautiful. Like this is fantastic. Because I did like very, very like amateur like modeling work for like about a year before doing this. And so I was like, have you done like anything with like any like fashion weeks at all? Like have you looked at any of that? Because this is incredible. And he's like, no, but you should come look at my wardrobe room, my wardrobe room.
Mhm.
And then I went in there and I was just like fabrics and everything like that. And he's like, I have the perfect thing you need to put on. And I was like, okay, because at this point he already told me that each one of those coats was like worth $1,500, and I was like, I'm gonna put out a $1,500 coat, shit. And then he goes and puts one on too, and I was like, we gotta get a photo now. And
I,
yeah, after that we were just like trying on coats and stuff. I Yeah,
I love it. I mean, it's just it's so important. And Evelyn, there might be some people that are sitting there listening to what we're talking about right now, and they might be like, well, where's the nuts and bolts? What's the structure? How do I say this? How do I say that? Right. And the phone script and like, and this doesn't have anything to do with, this has everything to do with sales. This is a communication business, right? And
yeah,
having fun, laughing with these people, getting to know what makes them tick, right? What makes that guy tick is serving others and doing things for other people, and
yep,
feeling needed, feeling wanted, and it has everything to do with what we do. And I just think, girl, I'm just proud of you, and I hope everybody takes from this to stop focusing so much on the failures that you're having. Like, love yourself, um, you know, where you're at, focus on you getting better every single day, focus on the good things that are happening to you every single day. Don't compare yourself to other people, and learn to control this. And the world's at your fingertips when you can learn to control this, because there will be people and there will be things that pop up every single day that want to bring you right back down. It happens to all of us. but it's in our control how we react to everything that happens, you know, and it's all in here. And it's no wonder to me that now I want you to write it down. I mean, for crying out loud, because I don't want to have no phone call with you a month from now being like, hey, I went from up here and now I'm down here. What am I doing? It's like,
Fair enough.
write it down what you're doing
Fair
right
enough.
now. Fair enough.
Fair enough. But
Well,
no, I think, yeah, I mean, the best thing was getting better with communicating. I think you said that was just massive. I just wanted to reiterate that.
yeah. Well, listen, I'm proud of you. I know you're out running appointments and stuff, and I appreciate you taking some time to serve the team, give back to the team, and you know what you're talking about today is everybody is going to deal with it, and you can choose to let it break you, or you can choose to get better every single day and take it head on and live in this area up here, right, consistently instead of on a roller coaster. So appreciate what you're doing. I look forward to seeing obviously the growth. You got a team growing, and it's no wonder your team's growing now that you're in the right headspace, right? And I know
No,
you
it's
have a
just
good,
coincidence.
yeah, just coincidence. Of course
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Well, listen, I appreciate what you do for the team. I appreciate who you are, and love being on the same team as you. And have a good rest of the day. Okay, go out and help a bunch of families.
You know it. I appreciate it too.
I go. Talk to you later.
Sounds good.